Do you remember when dreaming was just fun? Where when the idea of your desire was just something that you just kept going back to because it just felt so good, like a dream that you just continued to want to dream because it just felt so good. And then do you remember when the adults around you forced you to come back down to reality and told you to look and face reality? And so you learned to face reality, and then you gave up your sort of dreaming tendency and faced a reality. And the reality that you mostly faced was a reality that you never really liked. And so here you were stuck with the resistance. And now you're in the business of trying to change reality. And we're over here saying you can't really change reality because what you're looking at right now is not the real reality that matters, because the reality that you're looking at, this manifestation, is not your real reality. It's the old reality. It's like a cake that has already been baked, and so now you can't go back and fix the ingredients. It's already too late. And best of all, you don't need to go back. You don't need to go back and change anything. You don't need to go back and clean anything up, any of your resistance. All you can do and all you have to do is just move forward, knowing what you now know. Because even in the experiences that you call disasters, even in those tragedies, you're giving birth to more things, more future experiences that you're going to like. And how are you really going to know what you want if you know what you don't want? And that truly is the essence of your life experience here on planet Earth. You're always sifting and you're sorting and you're coming to new conclusions. But instead of going with the new conclusions, instead of going with your dreams, instead of believing in your dreams, instead of giving time to your dreams, you're talking about the reality that your desire was born from. You're talking about the fact that you still don't have any money. And we know it's because you were trained to observe a reality, because you would be sort of stupid not to. You are physical and you have these five senses. And so this reality gets all of your attention. Whereas dreaming, that daydreaming reality, doesn't really get a lot of your attention because it's just not real. And so daydreaming feels deceptive. It feels like you're lying. It feels like you're being delusional. It feels like you're distracting yourself when the real hard work needs to be done. And then you'll hear that. And we're not against hard work. We're not even against work in general, because action is delicious. But the thing is, when you take action from a place of alignment, then that action actually matters. You see, the action is not how you create. How you create is with your vibration. And so that's what we're trying to get you to understand, is that you're not here to create reality, because ultimately there's already momentum. So you can't create a reality looking at the reality that you're already looking at. You can't create a reality by spending all of your time of noticing the fact that what you want isn't here. You can't create it. And yet that's what many try to do. They try to change reality. They try to stand in the face of not having enough money, and instead of trying to find the vibrational essence, instead of trying to find time to dream, instead of trying to dream the dream, not to make anything happen, but to enjoy this moment, because that's really the whole success of this entire life experience, is the joy. They try to fix reality. And that's where you sort of you proclaim yourself as a failure, because it feels hard. It feels like a lot of work. You get tired, and it's because you're trying to push against a flow of momentum. You're trying to push against momentum that was already there. So instead of trying to push against it, we're saying get out ahead of it. We're saying be unconditional in your alignment. Find the pieces that you do like. Talk about the vibrational essence. Better yet, daydream. Instead of trying to fix reality, just go to a place where there's no resistance in your mind. And in that place of non-resistance, what you want from your vortex is going to flow into your mind in the form of these daydreams. And by the time you're getting these daydreams, those daydreams are manifestations. Those daydreams are manifestations, because they weren't there a second ago, and you're translating them into the images, and they're coming from your vortex. You see, just as this reality isn't the real reality, because you know what's the real reality? Your vortex. This now reality that you're looking at is already the old reality. So you know what? You don't have to focus on it anymore. It doesn't matter. And yet it does matter to you, because you think, oh, but I can't not focus on it, because that would make me deceptive. That would make me a fool. And so I'm not going to not look at reality. And we're saying, you're right. You got to start, because you're not going to not look at reality, because you have these five senses. So instead of trying to run away from reality, just daydream. Just talk about what you want and leave it at that. Dream. You see, the dream has to feel enough, because that's all you have right now. And you know what? The dream is enough, because while you're dreaming, you're enjoying this now moment. And so that's the thing, is we don't want you to be in this attitude of, okay, I'm going to dream the dream to make the dream happen. I'm going to talk about what I want and why I want it to make it happen, because then you never really get anywhere. It feels more harder. Whereas when you're daydreaming for the pleasure of daydreaming, then you know what you first get, the first manifestation of that work is, you just feel happy. You feel good. You feel like life is so delicious. You feel non-resistant. You just feel like, a day went by and nothing really, like, no resistance really happened. Nothing really sort of shook my world today. There wasn't any major moments of resistance. It was just all smooth flowing. That's how you want your life experience to be. Because what we're not saying is just forget about your desires and be happy. We're saying be happy, finding an emotion apart from the conditions and practicing it. That's really your work. That's how you get everything that you want. You see, manifesting what you want is really easy, because you know why? Because your progress is already inevitable. to your inner being heralds you as the success that you are, because your inner being, when your inner being looks at you, when source energy considers you and acknowledges you, it acknowledges you in your entire fullness. So you and all that you have become as a result of this life experience. So your vortex is robust. That vortex is an accomplishment. We want you to feel the accomplishment of your vortex, this vibrational reality of everything that you have put in there as a result of sifting and sorting in this life experience. You put everything in this vortex, and yet you're over here saying, I don't see it, I don't see it, I don't see it. And we're saying, but you can't, like, you can't do that, because it's not that you can't do that. It's just that sometimes you can help do that because you're so used to observing reality. And we're saying, well, when you're dreaming, you're not observing reality. When you're daydreaming, you're not observing reality. So there are things that you could do where you sort of get out ahead of it. So now reality isn't so stuck on your mind. It's not playing this endless, vicious, evil loop. You see, you're a creator, but you're mostly a creator of your vibration. And in creating your vibration and in molding the clay of your energy with emotion, then you do create conditions. We're not telling you that the conditions don't matter. We're saying that the conditions don't matter because you can feel good. You can own your vibration. You can be unconditional. You can feel however you want. And then you know what happens? Then once you go in that dream state, and as you continue to dream, and as you love the dream, and since the dream is enough, because you know what? You don't have your manifestation right now. True. What you do have is a daydream. You have the dream, and that is enough, because every time you're dreaming, it feels good. But you could dream, you could daydream, and then you could kill it with reality. And that's what many of our friends do. They dream and they kill it with reality, and they say, well, something's wrong, something is amiss. The law of attraction must not work. And now I have to use action. So something is wrong. And we're saying you're not as good as focusing. You're a sloppy thinker. That's the only thing, is that if you're not getting what you want, it just means that you're a sloppy thinker. But the thing about sloppy thinking is that it's not that hard to sort of fix. It's not even that hard to change, because all you have to do is just daydream more. Because as you're daydreaming, as you're finding this place of non-resistance, then you're not spending all of your time talking about reality. You're spending your time dreaming about what could be, about what is, what has already become as a result of you being here. So how can the dream be enough? Well, the dream can be enough because when you talk about it, it feels good. And so that feeling good, it just propels, it becomes more, momentum is added. But also the dream is enough because you don't have the manifestation. You don't have the manifestation that you're looking for. You see, it's like the artist who just wants to create, but they also want to have a really big audience and they want to make a lot of money. And so that artist, the creation part is easy. They know how to get into the vortex. They know when they're tuned in. And so when they're tuned in, the art flows, the books flow, the music flows, the YouTube video flows, everything flows. And so it's easy then. It's easy to create. But then when they think of an audience, they're now imagining what the audience is thinking. And since they don't trust the audience, because they don't trust that they'll be in the vortex to sort of see the vision that the artist sees while they're creating their work, since they don't trust people, then what happens is they get wonky with their vibration because they're thinking about things that they don't have answers to. And so in doing that, they get wonky. Their vibration doesn't really, they don't see the success that they want. They're creating work that is from the vortex, that is so influential, that is so amazing and leading edge, but they're not attracting the audience for that. And that goes for all artists. And then that's because, and this is a really good, important way to speak about it, because they're focusing not on the wrong things, but on the things that don't align them. So if, for example, if you want money, then you need to find the easiest match to money. What's a way that you can think about money that would always make you feel good? Because here's the thing: is the bottom line is that you have to find unconditional alignment. You can't wait until a condition is here and then you're going to feel good. And money is a subject that's like that, because many of our friends are kind of sloppy with money because it's everywhere, it's pervasive, and so they just leave it where it is. Every thought's where you last left it. So they just leave money, and they're kind of, because money is just on one topic that isn't spiritual, that it just isn't fun, that it just feels that everyone is binding to, but it really isn't. It's a really easy subject because all you have to do is just find a little piece of it that is easy, that when you think about it, it makes you feel good. Right? Because just like the artist who wants to create, the prize can't be the audience, because when the prize is outside of you and the prize is based on condition, then it's never enough, because conditions will always have resistance in them, because every condition, every particle of the entire universe has wanted and unwanted in it. So we're trying to calibrate you away from a condition. We want you to realize that the prize really is alignment, because only then can what you want come, right? Because that's what unconditional alignment is about. Unconditional alignment is I'm successful no matter what. I'm a winner no matter what. And then only then can you really be a match to your vortex. We want the dream to be so easy to you. We want the dream to feel so easy to you that you're just like, you know what, I had the dream, I had the vibrational version, I'm gonna go enjoy that. And then enjoying that, because it feels like it's enough, because you could just think about it and bliss yourself out, then you know what happens? Momentum happens. These dreams start to call things from you, because you're the one who's trying to dream, and you're trying to like, okay, this dream is fine, but what can I do right now to make it happen? Because pleasure doesn't feel productive. Pleasure does not feel productive, because you're sort of operating under this false impression that the harder, the more, if the work feels good, then it's not productive. But if it feels bad, then if it feels like hard work, then I'm doing something, right? Because negative momentum is still moving towards something, but it's always moving towards what you don't want. So is it really that effective? Ooh, that's very interesting, because yes, anything is better than just standing still, but is that really true? Meaning, is negative momentum really something that you want to facilitate? Just because it's better to move than stand still, but you're still moving in the direction of unwanted. So what we're really saying here is you want to be unconditional because it's so easy. But the thing is, you don't think it's that easy. It doesn't feel easy because, you know why? Because reality. You're trying to change reality, and we're saying you keep looking back. You keep looking back at a reality that you can't change, and so it kind of just, it allows your vibration to plummet. But now you know this. Now you understand that this reality really doesn't matter. So now as I dream, the dream can be enough, because I'm not trying to make this dream come into reality right now, because this moment has already manifested. So my true reality is a vibrational reality. My true reality is the vortex where my inner being is. So I'm in a feel for it. I'm in a dream. And in dreaming, I'm literally out ahead of it. In dreaming, I'm unconditional. In dreaming, I'm always winning. So when you're thinking about money now, you're thinking, well, I always have clarity. I always have the freedom. I always have the freedom to think what I want. And yeah, I may not have the dollars, but I have the freedom. And as you sort of find those easy matches, you see, find the match that's easiest. Find the piece of the puzzle that's the easiest to find. Find the piece of the subject that when you think about always puts you in the vortex. Let that be your prize, because the prize has to be the alignment. The prize, if the prize is a manifestation, then you can't get anywhere. And you see, it seems so nebulous, and it seems so like, what's really, like, what am I really supposed to do? Action. But that's the thing, is that you can't do anything with your action. You can't do anything right now that's going to make a major change, because momentum has already sort of happened. So what we're really saying is get out ahead of it. What we're really saying is allow it to be an emotional game. I like to be, well, I can't change reality, but I can change how I feel. And in changing how I feel, then you know what happens? I do good work on every single subject in my life, because since every thought is where you last left it, when you get into the vortex and then you think about everything that you want, then you're from your high flying place, from the high flying frequency, from the vortex, you're thinking about all these subjects, and you have access. You'll only have access to good momentum thoughts, momentum that will actually lead you towards your desire. So let's wrap it up with an understanding that you will never forget. Dreaming. You want to dream more, because that's who you are. You are meant to dream. Imagination is fun to you. Daydreaming is fun. That's why the kids are they're so happy all the time, because they just go to the place in their mind, not because they're trying to create a reality, but because it's just fun to feel good. It feels good to feel good. And if I don't see a condition that doesn't feel good, instead of me trying to fix that condition so I feel better, I'm gonna just go in my mind and find a way to feel better, whether it's focusing on this subject or it's focusing on any subject, finding the easiest match. But ultimately what it comes down to is having the prize be alignment, having the prize be, you know what, I can always feel good no matter what. Because if you can feel good no matter what, then that means that you're able to find the vortex, you're able to find the stream of solutions, and then you get the impulses, and then you can manifest literally anything.